Good morning, everyone. There we go. Sorry for that. We had a little bit of technical difficulties this morning. I walked in and I was like, where's my producer? But it is me producing, so that is A-okay. Good morning. You are listening to the morning show on WJOB, 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live on the JED TV and TuneIn app. And you're also watching live on YouTube as well. We have that going. So while I get these cameras all ready to go, as I'm realizing that I don't know if the cameras are on either. It's with all the little technical difficulties, but we will manage. There we go. Never mind. None of the cameras are working. Oh my goodness. It is a very fun day. Let me see if I can figure out. Oh, I think I know what the issue is. See? First day, they leave me alone all by myself, and I'm already causing technical difficulties. But, you know, it wouldn't be WJOB if there weren't any technical difficulties. So while I get the cameras up, let me get the graphics on. So as everybody knows, Jed is out for the week as he is in Indy at a conference with Peter Krakowski. So yesterday you had Tom Dabberton for the morning call, and now today you got me until about 7:30 because that is when North Township comes on. So let's see here. Let's get this graphic on. We do have a lot to talk about, but before we get into any of that, I am going to give you guys your traffic and weather, but it is September 11th, 2025, and on September 11th, we will give a moment of silence to those who have lost their lives due to 9/11 in 2001. We want to thank all of those brave men and women and everybody that has been a help to saving people on that day, as well as we pray for the families that may have been affected due to the incident. So let's see here. Oh my goodness, my cameras are actually not working. That's also probably why it was not plugged in all the way. Can't have a show without cameras, and it's a little concerning. I may have to do it from the actual remote. That's probably why that's over here. Okay, so let's see. Let me take a look at traffic and weather while we're doing this, and I will probably put up the music again. We'll listen to 219 News now as we get right into it. So currently right now at the Strachan Van Til Studios, it is 66 degrees today. We are seeing highs of 80 degrees and lows of 57 degrees. On Friday, we're in the 80s again. We're getting a little higher. Highs of 85 degrees, lows of 64 degrees. And then on Saturday, highs of 85, lows of 64 again. We're seeing plenty of sunshine. Not as many storms this week as well. Let's take a look at our traffic for today. Taking a look at traffic. Traffic flow seems to be pretty good in the Northwest region. We're not seeing really any traffic over there. We're going to see a little bit of traffic there on the Stevenson. There's going to be slow traffic right before I-94. And then let's take a look over here. What do we got over here? If I can zoom in. There we are. We got some heavy traffic on the exit ramp Tri-State I-294 north at I-290 on the Eisenhower right there. So we're going to have a little bit of buildup. And then, of course, 90 East right there by Lawrence Avenue. We're going to have a little bit of buildup there as well. All right. Yep, we're going to play some 209 News now just as soon as this loads because I got to get these cameras situated. Oh, my goodness. Nothing wants to work today. That's amazing. And neither does the computer. Guys, this is going to be a long day. With nothing working, that's amazing. All right, but we are live. That's one good thing. We did go live. So let's see here. Yeah, let's play some music, and let me see if I can figure all this out. So bear with us. We'll be right back with the morning show.
By the South Shore Line and by Strachan Van Til, making lives easier for 95 years.
I'm Andrew Garcia, and this is your 219 News Now. One person died and 5 others were injured in a car crash following a head-on collision in Highland on Tuesday night. A 69-year-old woman from Highland passed away from her injuries, while a 14-year-old girl initially reported as deceased is now being treated at a Chicago Children's Hospital, according to a correction issued by the Highland Police Department. The crash occurred when the woman driving a Jeep crossed the center line on Kennedy Avenue and struck a Dodge carrying 5 occupants. The investigation is still ongoing. Mike and Maria Miatov have opened Meast Village Cafe in Cherville, bringing Serbian street food cuisine, including cevapi, to the area. The cafe, inspired by the Miatovs' love of Serbian food, offers freshly baked breads and traditional dishes made from scratch. Located off Route 30, Meast Village aims to provide an authentic Balkan food experience for both the local community and curious foodies, with a small seating area available for patrons. The Cherville YMCA plans to close its cardio floor for renovations starting on September 18th in order to install new equipment and kick off a major expansion project. The expansion will include a cafe, a kids zone, youth studios, an elevated track, additional social spaces, group fitness studios, sports performance training areas, and more, with the goal of enhancing community health and well-being in Northwest Indiana. Crossroads YMCA aims to complete most of these renovations by summer 2027, including transforming the former Jack's Warehouse into a modern fitness center with new courts for various sports and improved amenities for members. And in sports, the IUN men's soccer team takes on Goshen. Here's a look at the action from that contest.
Low diving corner, that one a header bouncing up and in! Eric Gonzalez. Long pass looking for Lopez. Lopez almost gets to it. No handball called. Lopez gets it back. Tries to turn around. Gives it to Orlana. Orlana fires. Tie ball game. The equalizer. Semenis to give Goshen the lead. Got it. And as expected, unable to deal with anything, and that is it. 3-2, Goshen wins it over IUN. It was a valiant effort by the Redhawks in the second half.
To read up on more local news and headlines, visit JEDtv.com and NWI.com. I'm Andrew Garcia, and this has been your 219 News Now.
All right, we got some good news. I figured it out. So now we should have cameras. There we go. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry for all the technical difficulties. That's honestly on me. I should have probably been here a little earlier, but that's okay. So good morning, everybody. I have a lot to talk about today. If you have not been looking at the news in the last 24 hours, honestly, in the last 12 hours, you were probably sleeping because, oh my goodness, there's a lot to talk about. And we're just going to go in this little order that I have here at the moment. So let's take a look here. All right, I have it all written down, as guys, I did my homework. But we're gonna go first. So we have the topics. I'm just gonna go through the list, and then we are going to, am I loud on the thing? No, okay, like it sounds pretty good. I just think I'm loud. It's probably just my volume in the thing here. I don't know why the producer's mic is not working. I would usually be wearing the headset for that one. There we are. Okay, no wonder. Here we go. All right. This is so professional for my first date by myself. Okay, so we're going to start off with, of course, what everybody is talking about in the news right now at the moment, which is Charlie Kirk. Now, if you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, he is a person who speaks on his political beliefs, and he is very right-sided when it comes to it. And now that has sparked a lot of controversy in the media, especially with certain things he has said when it comes to I haven't really followed on his thing a whole ton, but I know it was LGBTQ rights, abortion rights, gun violence, freedom of speech, all this kind of different stuff. So he was very controversial in the media. But like anybody who talks about their political beliefs, they are going to be controversial no matter what side that you're on. So bear with me as I, my scribbles, as you can see. Charlie Kirk was speaking at Utah Valley University on his tour called the American Comeback Tour. This is an event where people in attendance were invited to debate different viewpoints. One of the main things of his events listed is join Charlie Kirk on campus for a lively discussion of freedom and America. Don't agree with Charlie? Great. Go to the front of the line and we'll see you there. This event caused a divide on campus and some students created an online petition for him not to come. Overall, the university stated that they welcome all viewpoints and will be respectful of all opinions. Kirk held similar events such as Turning Points of USA, TPUSA events, which he founded in 2012, and has been blowing up on socials with his Prove Me Wrong debates. Because of this rise to social and political fame, they decided to go on tour. The tour is scheduled for 15 dates in September. It was supposed to go through September 15th to October 29th, spanning over 9 states, with more to be added. While speaking at his first event at Utah Valley University, he was assassinated, shot in the neck, and was taken to the hospital and later pronounced dead at the age of 31. His wife and 2 children were in attendance, and the suspect has not been identified. Now, I wrote this write-up, like this summary of what had happened, about around 8, 9 o'clock last night. So if the suspect has been detained, please call in 219-845-1100 is the number, and we could share your thoughts on this. Now, my personal thoughts on this is that nobody deserves to be shot, killed, or in any way harmed based on their political beliefs or any opinion that they may have whatsoever, regardless if you agree with them or not. Me personally, I did not agree with him, not once, but that does not mean that I believe that he should be dead. No, he has a family, he has a wife, he has kids. He is a person still, regardless of what he believed in, he is still a person. And for this to happen, not only just in general, but also at a college campus, and it's crazy to me. And at first, now of course, the video is going to go everywhere. I saw the video myself, and at first I thought it was AI. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, that's not real. No, it can't be real. And lo and behold, here we are, more videos are surfacing, and it is 100% real. Everybody, and I know, it's just like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. And of course, this is what was blowing up on social media. And everybody had their different opinions. I saw people that were praying for his family and everything like that. And then we saw people and individuals who were celebrating. Now, for the individuals who were celebrating, this is how you know that there is something very wrong with the country as a whole entirely, because we were celebrating the death of somebody. No, we should never do that. Never, ever, ever, regardless of what your political beliefs are. Okay, you could be as right-wing or as left-wing as you want to be, but the moment that somebody dies based on just their freedom of speech, now, yeah, we got an issue because, hey, we got amendments and that's in there, right? So as I drop everything. So you guys, it's not a show without some technical difficulties. So that is the first topic. I will take phone calls, yes, so please stay on the line. Actually, let's take some phone calls because before I'm going to switch into different topics. So let's see. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, this is Rick. I just want to say condolences to the Kirk family. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, this guy touched a lot of people, a lot of young kids, you know. I mean, he really touched a lot of young people. I used to listen to him every day. And the guy was a multimillionaire, self-made multimillionaire. And he never went to,
I agree with you. He was very successful in what he does.
And he didn't go to college either. He didn't graduate from college. So. Oh, really?
You know, I did not know that.
He didn't go to college. And the fact is that he tried to straighten these people out because these college campuses are turning into nothing but death camps. You know, the way they teach these students. You know, it's their way or the highway.
Yeah.
So.
It is.
All right.
It is
hey,
a very sad and tragic event, and I
It
hope
is.
that, and also his entire family was in attendance. His wife, his children. Now, not only are they traumatized, but his girls. I think it's 2 girls. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 2 girls. His girls are gonna have to grow up without a father, and nobody ever wants that for their children. It's insane.
31 years old. I mean, he wasn't
very
even
young.
middle aged. Yeah, I mean, this is sad. This is really sad. You know, I mean, this crap's got to stop. These people better learn how to act. Evidently, the people that did this, they don't care about this country. So if you don't care about the country, get the hell out. Have a nice day.
You too. All right. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Adriana. How you doing?
I'm doing well. A few technical
All
difficulties
right.
here and there, but we're here.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. You know, and what a day to start, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
9/11, the Charlie Kirk situation, right? So there's a lot going on, and you know, and again, I preface this by saying, you know, I don't agree in political violence at all, right? But you know, Charlie Kirk said himself, you know, some prophetic words that he said it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment. So, you know, I mean,
I have been seeing that quote around, yes. And
yeah, it's there. It's there. He put it out himself on a tweet, and so it's there. He said it. So, I mean, it doesn't make anything right, but I mean, he just kind of fell into that thing himself, you know. And so it's very, very unfortunate. And you know, they're Trump's ordering the half-mast flags, and that he didn't order for when the politician and her husband that were murdered in their own home by a Trump supporter. You know, he didn't do that then. So it's very, you know, here we are again. Here we are again, and it's very unfortunate to what's going on, you know. But, you know, good luck with the program today. I'm glad that you're doing this, and I knew you were going to straighten things out, you know, and it's probably not appropriate to put on songs today. You know,
we're well. Also, we are live on YouTube, so we're trying to make the transition of non-copyright music. So it's gonna be kind of instrumental music. I know a lot of people aren't used to that, but we're gonna try to make it happen.
Especially our friend that does the TV shows, you know. But a song that I would suggest for today was The Doors' "Strange Days." You know.
Yeah, it definitely is. One of those strange days. It was a very, I will say, as like coming in, it was a very quiet kind of day to wake up to. Like everything was kind of silent. Now, yes, I got here before the sun was up, but it is a very, very quiet day today.
Oh yeah, it's somber mood. You know, I mean, 9/11. Come on, it's crazy. So. Well, all right. So have a good show, Adriana.
Thank
and
you
good
for
talking
calling
to
in.
you.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna move on from that event because we do have some other topics to talk about, as well as we have 2 interviews today. I believe one we have at 6:45, the other one we have at 7 o'clock, and then we have our community programming at 7:30. So our next event that we have that is going on in the news is a train stabbing. So in Charlotte, North Carolina, DeCarlos Brown was taken into custody for stabbing a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee. Now, I did see her name, but I looked at the name and I was like, I am going to pronounce this wrong. So we are just going to refer her as the 23-year-old woman who was in this incident. He had stabbed a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee to death on a light rail train. Brown did not know the suspect and claimed in an audio recording that was turned in as evidence, "I hurt my hand stabbing her. I don't even know that lady. I never said not one word to that lady at all. It's scary, ain't it? Why would somebody stab somebody for no reason at all?" According to his family, Brown has had a history of mental illness, and he has been federally charged with 1 count of committing an act of death on a mass transportation system. Now, hearing this And some individuals were saying, now of course you can't believe everything you see online, but some individuals were stating that he has been arrested and released multiple times, and for this to continue to happen. Now I don't know if that is true. I don't know any of the other things he has maybe been charged on, but let's see here. They say my levels are very low, so let's turn that up. There we are. Maybe that's a little bit better. Oh my goodness, how do they hear out of this thing? This is crazy to me. Let's try that right here. And it says low battery, which is beautiful. I'll change the batteries on this when I take a break. But yeah, so that was an incident that had happened, and that was circulating in the news. Now, I did not see the video of that. For the news reports, what they were doing was that they were showing like right before it happens, and then they continue to talk over it, and then they kind of show the aftermath, which was a little strange, just like continuity wise, which I was like, okay. But of course, you don't want to show that on television. So that was another incident that had happened. And as well as that, we have I got about 1 minute here. The Colorado school shooting, at least 4 students, including the shooter, injured at a shooting at a high school in Evergreen, Colorado. The shooter was a student at the high school. He was armed with a revolver handgun. 3 students were in critical condition after being taken to St. Anthony's Hospital. The 4th student was also taken to the hospital with an unknown injury. The shooting happened at 12:24 p.m. Authorities at the time of the shooting requested a search warrant for the student's home and locker. After an update later that night, 1 student has died. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office said that the alleged shooter was a 19-year-old male. He suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. It was unclear if the victims were targeted, and while they were making this report, they did not say whether or not that the shooter was the one who passed or if it was one of the other students that were shot. Now, based on what the summary I had written up, it sounds like it was the boy who was the shooter, but they would not release the name. So that was the other one that had happened, and that was around the same time of the Charlie Kirk death. So that was, and as I was kind of researching that school, I saw that they also had a shooting in 1999. So high school campuses, college campuses, it is honestly insane how much death is going on in the world. And yes, as I can get my laptop open, that'd be great, so I can get the next topic. As we have been seeing, that is definitely an issue, that gun violence is definitely an issue, and the fact that it is happening on college campuses, on high school campuses, elementary schools, anywhere, it is insane that this is happening, and this is something that is looking to be a norm, which it should never be a normal thing that has happened. So let me see here. Let me get the next topic. And this is about the National Guard and ICE in Chicago. Now, I talked briefly about this on the other radio station that I intern at, so I'm going to touch briefly on that. We're going to get away from the little sad stories of what has happened in the past 12 to 24 hours, which is still shocking to me, as this has all happened so just like boom, boom, boom. Like, oh my god, like how have these events occurred so close together in one day? It is absolutely insane to me. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the other radio station that I am interning at. It is an unpaid internship, but I'm getting paid in experience. So that is all I can ask for. So this is it's been about a month since I've been at this different radio station. And in the application process, I was just applying anywhere in Chicago for just an internship. I didn't start looking for full-time jobs, as yes, I am still in school. We will be graduating in the spring, which I am super, super excited for. So I was looking for more so internships. Paid would have been nice, but I was also applying to a lot of not unpaid internships as well. So as I was looking, I saw one that didn't have a lot of applicants, which I was a little confused about, because every single one that I kept seeing was over 100 applicants every which way. So as I was applying, I saw one that was for WCPT, the lightning strike, 8:20 a.m. It's a little weird to say somebody else's station ID because every time that I talk on that station, I so badly want to be like, you're listening to WJOB on 12:30 a.m. 104.7 FM. It is top of the hour, so I'm glad that I did that. But it's just a little surreal that it's like, okay, yeah, hold on, I gotta say something else. So for this one, I was brought in, and I thought that I used kind of like, hey, I do like a lot of podcasting. Here's my content. I sent in clips from talking here on the radio waves, as well as sending in just different interviews that I've done and stuff that I've done in school as well. And from there, they were very impressed with what I had to offer. So I was very excited. So they brought me in, and from there, they had us come in the first day. Now, they said that it is in the Chicagoland area. So I'm like, okay, cool, it's going to be downtown. It's all the way by Rosemont. It is by the airport O'Hare. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to make this drive every single week. But thankfully, they only go live once a week. And right now we're doing Zoom for it. So I was very excited for that. Let's see here. Here we are. I found the topic. So I was very excited for that. So they have us talk, and they asked us, hey, what would you like to talk about? Like a 5-10 minute segment. And I was like, wait, really? So right away there, me and the other intern were able to speak on the air about different things. So I was like, okay. So one of the topics that I was talking about was the protests that are happening in Chicago. So I have a little written up summary, and this is just based on stuff that I've seen. Now, yes, everybody's going to have their different opinions about what's going on. So before I even get into this, if you haven't heard, but I'm pretty sure everybody has, but just in case, the U.S. government is threatening to send the National Guard to Chicago. Now, we've seen the National Guard in Washington, D.C., and I'm pretty sure in New York as well. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's pretty sure it's in New York as well. And from there, we've been seeing that they want to send it over to Chicago. There's been a lot of pushback on that, and it's a double-edged sword. Either way you look at it, you can see that, okay, either the government is trying to reduce crime in Chicago, and they're trying to make Chicago safer. It's one narrative, okay? The other narrative is that since crime rate has been down, they keep throwing this number around that it has been down 30%, that because the crime rate has been down, why do we need the National Guard? No, you are trying to make a blue state red. We don't want that. That's the other narrative. There's another narrative saying that Chicago has the idea of, no, we like our crime. Our crime is fine. You can go somewhere else. That's the other narrative, whichever one you choose to believe. Now, the other thing with that is that we have Governor Pritzker and the mayor of Chicago. I'm blanking on his name right now. But we have those individuals giving a lot of pushback as well for the National Guard being sent into Chicago, and also as well as ICE. Now, for those things, even the people, like the citizens who live in Chicago, have been pushing back as well because they don't want to see the National Guard on their streets. They think that it is a waste of time. Not that it's not going to not get rid of crime, but it's just more so, why are you here in that sense? So one thing that I had written up was, it's called Protest and Politics. So the No Kings protest was just, and before I even say this, I should phrase that the station that I work at, they are very democratic in their viewpoints, but they do consider the Republican viewpoints as well, and talk about both sides, but for this one, they are very democratic in that sense. So one thing that they had was the No Kings protests, and they were talking about that. So what I had talked about was the No Kings protest was the beginning of America's outrage over what has happened in politics, particularly with Donald Trump and his administration. It seems to have quieted down in the past few weeks, and could it be people accepted what's happened or agree with it? It's just not being televised. There are rumors that if you speak out against the government and those in office, your content will be taken down or not shown on an algorithm-based social media platform. Now, of course, rumors are not fact until proven so. Well, America's proving that fact. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook and Instagram. Trump wanted to ban TikTok because it was owned by a company outside of the U.S. government, and officials claim that China was selling information spying on Americans. The other narrative is that the government would not be able to control its content like it can with Facebook and Instagram. This was until the presidential election, where the U.S. government saw that many Republicans were using TikTok in its favor and decided to put a hold on the ban, and we still have the platform today, awaiting the app to potentially go dark in September. Now, with that, I will definitely say that within that time, this was drafted up August 15th, and from there, the White House has an official TikTok page, which is very interesting to say the least. So, yeah, once I saw that, I was like, okay, cool. And I had a school project, social media in the news, and I was like, oh, and I just dropped my, not headset, whatever this is called, synthesizer once again. That's synthesizer? No. I dropped this once again. As you can see, I'm not used to holding this, but I saw that was in the news, and I saw some news articles, and I had a project to do. I was like, all right, cool, let's do that, and we got an A. So there's one good thing that came out of it. So now the White House has TikTok officially after that. 3 of the most popular social media platforms are currently Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And on these platforms, if you search a protest, you'll get a mix of protests happening today and protests that have happened in the past months. Now, of course, this is almost a month old, so that could have changed. But as we move forward, also news sources have not been discussing the protests. And if they have not been in depth with reports like they were for Black Lives Matter and No Kings. To prevent this, social media users have been using an alias to get around the algorithm. The title LA Music Festival 2025 is new code name for protests. This is also used in other places such as Chicago 2025 Music Festival, Texas, and New York. This has been working across all social media platforms in order to get the word out there. People are unhappy with the state of our country. People have been protesting ICE, the war in Gaza, human rights, and the National Guard coming to different cities. These protests are not in small numbers, as individuals are filling the streets to voice their opinions against the government. So I got about maybe 2 more minutes here, but I did want to touch on that fact that, yes, there are a lot of things happening, especially now. So I've also talked about Hispanic Heritage Month over there and how these protests are happening because they don't want ICE, especially a big amount of ICE individuals, to come to Chicago. And a lot of events have been getting canceled. El Grito Fest got canceled, and another festival for Hispanic Heritage Month had just got canceled. And it's just because people fear that they are going to be taken even though they are a citizen. And the U.S. government has made it legal to racially profile somebody if you are trying to detain them for ICE. And that has enraged so many people. There's actually another No Kings protest happening in October. I think it's October 18th. Let me check very quickly. I know, yes, October 18th is another No Kings protest where it is growing exponentially. So there's a lot of different things happening in the U.S. And if we have time after these interviews, we will definitely talk about it. But you are listening to The Morning Show on WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. We're going to be right back. And then when we come back, we are going to be talking about Wing and Roll, the event that was held last Friday. And we're just going to highlight what has happened at that event, as well as brag about these amazing chicken wings that were featured. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. If the music will play, it's because I exit out of it. All right, hold on. There are so many technical difficulties. I already know. They're going to be like, how'd it go? Let me tell you. There we are. Okay, good morning, everyone. You are listening to the morning show on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, and you are also watching live on the JED TV TuneIn app. So we have some very exciting, oh, there we go. Now I know which one my camera is. Here we are. We have some very exciting interviews today, but first we are going to take a look at some traffic and weather. Let's take a look at traffic first. So we are seeing some heavy buildup right there on 94 West, right there at the connector, and 57 North, Damaran Express. So we're going to see a little bit of traffic there. We're going to see some heavy traffic on Stevenson, I-55, as well as Eisenhower Expressway. See a little bit of heavy traffic there. And in the Northwest region, looking pretty good, actually, but we do have some pretty heavy traffic right there on 90 Indiana East and West Tollways going west on Willow Creek Road. Take a look at weather for today. We are seeing that we are currently at 66 degrees, highs of 80, lows of 57, and if I can clear that, there we go. We're seeing just we're seeing 80s again, and I thought we were having a real fall. Nope, it is false fall, as tomorrow and in Saturday we are seeing highs of 85 degrees and lows of in the 50s. But so that is our traffic and weather for today, and I would like to introduce Andrea Sherwin. She is, do you want to, I know your title, but I'm blanking on it right now.
That's all right.
Yes.
Good morning. Andrea Sherwin. I'm the president and CEO of Mental Health America of Northwest Indiana. Happy to be here this morning.
We are happy to have you. And recently, there was an event this past Friday. Do you want to kind of talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. This past Friday at Bulldog Park, we held our annual Wing and Roll event. We like to call this event our Ungala. We certainly have all had to wear our tuxes and formal gowns to galas, but this was an idea that a former colleague had. This was our 8th annual. We took 2 years off for COVID, but our 8th annual Wing and Roll event. Where we have a live chicken wing cook-off from area chefs from throughout Northwest Indiana. This year was our biggest event ever. We had 12 chefs participating with the help of the ACF of Northwest Indiana group, a wonderful group of chefs to work with. And then this year, typically every year, the winning chef of the best wings, which is voted on by our guests, they get a wonderful golden chicken trophy. I'm not sure it's that exciting, but we like to say that it is. And this year, with the help of ACF, our winning chef actually also received a golden ticket from the World Food Championship. They'll actually be competing next year in Indianapolis for $10,000 with the World Food Championship. So it was a extra special year this year, especially for our winner, which was Ramen District. So we're really proud of everyone.
These are the little trophies that they had, which I thought were so freaking cute. I love them. So definitely, you guys had quite the turnout. I was so excited to go to this event. As I was saying, I had asked my friends, I asked my roommates, I was like, hey guys, I have a work thing to go to. Do you want to come? It is basically a chicken wing competition, and I've never seen people so excited in their lives to go to an event.
Chicken wings will do that to people.
Yes, and then one of my friends, she was like, hey, how many spots do you have? I was like, well, they told me I got a table for 8. And they're just like, can so-and-so come? He's so excited. I was just like, yeah, bring him. They took this so seriously.
Yes.
That is one thing. They were just like, oh my goodness, the way that this one just falls off the bone, the sweetness of this one, the grill of this one. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are into it.
Our guests each year love this. They love to be able to vote for the best chicken wings. And we just pulled some of the data, and we had over 92% of our guests actually voted in the competition this year.
That's good.
They do take it seriously, and it was such a fun event. It was our largest yet. We were probably at about 350 guests total for the night. When we first started out 8 years ago, we used to draw somewhere between 100 and 150. So we've definitely grown the event over the years, which we're really proud of.
Okay. Talk a little bit about Mental Health America.
Absolutely. So Mental Health America of Northwest Indiana, we've been around since 1957. We're an affiliate of Mental Health America National, but each affiliate in the United States chooses its own programming, secures its own funding. So we are a nonprofit here, and we serve Lake and Porter County. We also this past year expanded some of our services into Jasper and Newton County. It's a wonderful organization. About 85% of the work we do is with families in their homes, children ages 0 to 5. And our primary objective with that is to really get in on the early end of mental health, the prevention, early detection and prevention. So we're working with families in their home to help them understand early childhood, build those protective factors in the home. We know that the more we can get in at the front end to reduce some of those adverse childhood experiences and support parents just generally with education and empowerment, we know that we're strengthening families and individuals, for life. And we really talk about meaningful generational change through the work that we're doing.
Why did you choose to do this? Like, why did you choose this organization and overall this entire experience?
That's a big story. I've been with Mental Health America in the CEO role, for 7 years. It'll be 8 years next June. I have a 30-plus year. I worked for about 27 years in corporate, and around the time that I was making the switch over, I had been on the board for MHA, really fell in love with the work, fell in love with the people, the mission, and the good that this organization is doing in the community. Happened to just have a really wonderful intersection in life where I was able to make a change when our former CEO went to another affiliate. She moved to Texas for warmer weather, and she's doing wonderful things out there. And I threw my hat in the ring. I believed in the mission. I've had some personal family issues that caused me to really want to give back in the mental health space, and that became very important to me for this second part of my career.
Where do you see this going? So you guys had a very successful event, and it's only going to grow from there. So not just the event, but the organization overall. Where do you see that this is going to go?
It's interesting. It's a tough time in the world right now I would say in our nation, for nonprofits overall. We know that there are and continue to be significant federal and state funding cuts. I'm trying to advocate and raise the voice for the need to support organizations, not just ours, but all of our nonprofits in Northwest Indiana, to make sure that our community is protected. One of the things I talked about at Wing and Roll is that human services are not a disposable commodity. We are on the front line helping the most vulnerable families in our community. And we, along with other nonprofits in the area and in the nation, we can't do it without the support of our community, without the support of our state, everyone who's involved in those decisions, and we just want to raise that voice. So while I like to say that, MHA will be here long after my name is on the door, I think that there's definitely a call to action for all nonprofit, or sometimes we say for purpose, because we all are for purpose organizations, to be supported, understood the work that we're doing. In most cases, doing the work that a lot of people, don't do, and our community needs these services more than ever.
So, as you said, our community needs these services more than ever. How do people get involved?
Sure. We make ourselves available online, by phone call. They can definitely check our website out if they're interested. If our mission aligns with someone's philanthropic endeavors or volunteerism, they can check us out at mhanwi.org. That's our website. They can call us. Our main office is in Hammond, downtown Hammond, and that's at 937-7733. They can shoot me an email, first initial last name at mhanwi.org. And I always tell people, if you want to hear more about the work we do, I'll bring the coffee.
There you go. Yes. Do you have anything to close close us out here that you want people to know about the organization as a whole?
First, before I do that, I want to thank you because you helped us
Thank you
MC
for
our
inviting
event
me.
last week, and you did a wonderful job. I want to thank WJOB. You guys have been wonderful partners to us and supporting mental health in the community. And just reiterating what I said, any support you can give to us or to other nonprofit for-purpose organizations, whether it's time, talent, or treasure, is the old phrase, we all need that support. And if nothing else, just raising the collective voice of our community and making sure that every human being in our community is okay.
Thank you so much for coming in and talking about the event. We definitely have to get you guys on a lot more, especially with any events that you guys have coming up. Just send them my way, and we will definitely promote that a lot. But I will say, guys, it was a great event. If you can, go next year. Have a few chicken wings, have a few drinks, listen to some amazing music. I will say the band was great.
Thank you. That's my son's band, so Backstory. I'll give them a little shout out. Backstory, Northwest Indiana.
They did amazing. Me and my friends were rocking out to it, and it was just overall an amazing event. I hope that if I am still working here by next year, hopefully that I can come back again. If you guys need an MC, I got you.
No matter where you are, we'll find you.
Yes, there we go. So that's going to wrap up this interview. We have another interview coming up as well. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to The Morning Show on WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. You are listening to The Morning Show on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live on YouTube and our JED TV app. So we have one more interview. And before we even get into that, we are going to do some quick traffic and weather. So taking a look at our traffic for today, we are seeing that in the Northwest region. We have a little bit of road construction there on the Indiana Toll Road, I-80, 90 going west, and that's going to cause a little bit of slowdown right there if you're headed into that area. Of course, some traffic on Klein Avenue going north and going south. We have a bit of traffic right there on the Dan Ryan Expressway, right there at the connector, as well as right there on East 111th Street. And we're also seeing a bit of traffic on the Stevenson Expressway going north and the Eisenhower going east and going west. Just traffic all the way down as well. And then you're going to get a lot of heavy traffic if you're headed towards the airports up there by O'Hare on 94 East. Taking a look at our weather for today, we are seeing that currently right now at the Strack and Van Til Studios, it is 66 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 80 degrees and lows of 57 degrees. Moving forward into the rest of the week, we are seeing that we are in the 80s. It is not a false fall. We are back in those summertime weathers with highs of 85 and lows of 64 for this weekend. That's all for your traffic and weather. So we are going to do another interview today. We have a class, me and Tatenda, we have a class that is for advanced PR. And you kind of want to talk about that class before you introduce your guest?
Yeah, so the class is, advanced PR. For those that don't know, PR is just public relations, keeping a nice and, trying to maintain a good image, and, do crisis management and pretty much just take over. And as the class, we're acting as an agency, as nonprofit organizations and doing the PR for them. And for this class, I chose to work with a client and nonprofit that I already have been working with over the year, called Caring Connection. And we have the CEO here in the studio on Zoom, Robin McGinnis. I don't know if you wanted to zoom in already. There she is.
There she is.
I'm here. Good morning.
There she is. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. So, I know we kind of talked already about before that Indiana and Hammond isn't really in the, in the region that you're used to, promoting the nonprofit for. But I guess I just wanted to start and ask you just pretty much to start standard and ask about your background and, what kind of got you into nonprofit work and, more about you.
Well, that's a long story, but I'm a clinical social worker,
Okay.
and I've been working in the field for more years than I'm really going to tell you. I've always focused on working with families and in particular children. And moving to Southwest Michigan several years ago, I was asked to help with a domestic violence shelter, which is in Benton Harbor, Michigan. And over the 4 years I've been at Caring Connection, I now serve as the CEO for the last year and a half, and am proud to provide services in Southwest Michigan. But as you know, Tatenda, this is a very challenging time for all nonprofits, no matter what state, no matter what region you're serving.
Yeah, I know we talked a little bit about that yesterday as well, with the whole government funding cuts and all that. I know for the people that don't know, what's really going on with that? What are they cutting? How much are you losing? What's the plan with that?
Well, I don't know what the plan is, to be perfectly honest. It's affecting, as I mentioned moments ago, everyone, all nonprofits. So a lot of it is coming from the federal government, where there are each state receives a particular match. And I'm not sure what Indiana's is, but in Michigan, the match, the federal government is going to give Michigan about $104 billion less than it has been getting. Therefore, it trickles down to those of us who have state grants to provide services. The other thing, we provide a variety of different things, mostly focusing on senior services. So we have 3 adult day centers, really for people that have dementia or Alzheimer's, as people may know it, and also for people who really need a place to go during the day for socialization. And it's a program really for caregivers, so caregivers can continue their lives, go to work, know that their loved one is in a safe environment. And most of those people are funded through Medicaid or the Older Americans Act, which has yet to be ratified in Washington, D.C. And we know that there is pending cuts for Medicare, Medicaid. Again, we really don't know what they will be, but that is how we get funded for those particular programs. And it's a very scary time, not only for the clients and families that we serve, but also for the staff. We have no idea if we will have a budget for them and whether we'll be able to pay them after our fiscal year begins October 1.
Okay. Oh, so does the funding cuts begin in October, or is it next
So
year?
it depends on the cut. If it's the big, beautiful bill that was passed through the House in Washington, that's supposed to be in 26.
Oh, okay.
But each state is planning for that now, as I understand.
Oh, okay.
The state of Michigan has not been able to negotiate a fair, equitable budget between the Senate, which is run by the Democrats, and the House, which is the Republicans. And therefore, in the state of Michigan, we are pending a state shutdown. So the fiscal year begins October 1. And if that is the case, and we don't have actual grant funding coming in, we have no idea whether we'll be able to continue our programs, including the domestic violence and sexual assault program.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary because like nonprofits do a lot of good work, and knowing that the government is really trying to cut the funding for that is just, it's terrible to really, see that and realize that they're doing that,
It is.
I just kind of want to ask you more about just so the listeners know, because I mean I'm sure we've been working together as well. So just for people that don't know, like, what is Caring Connection and what do you guys do, just to give everybody a clear picture of Caring Connection?
Certainly. Caring Connection was actually formed in 1891. And I want to be clear, I was not there when it happened. And we've been providing services for Southwest Michigan for over 130 years, focusing on families and children. And at this point in time, we are focusing, as I mentioned, on running the domestic violence shelter, which is a 23-bed shelter. No charges are ever sent to families or to people that we serve. We also have a go-out team for the emergency rooms in the local area. I know the state of Indiana also has that. We work in collaboration with a domestic violence sexual assault program in Michigan City. So we go to the hospitals when somebody is raped or sexually assaulted, and if they're 14 and older, we provide the support and advocacy as they need it. We have at any one time in the domestic violence shelter 10 to 12 children along with their moms. Again, we will serve men as well, but we tend to put them in a motel because they're not particularly comfortable in the shelter itself. The adult day centers, we also have a program called Guardianship, and we provide financial and emotional support for those who are unable to manage their financial affairs. And really a specialty program that is pretty unique. It's called Safe and Secure. And that's a program for people who are living in an unsafe situation, are 60 and older, and are hoarders. So those, you probably have seen the show Hoarders.
Oh, yeah.
And so those are true. And our staff go in and help clean someone's home when they give us permission. So that's who we are, a staff of about 50 people. And it's a small but mighty not-for-profit.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like, it's kind of, you got to build up, how, with almost anything. And, I know you mentioned that you kind of help out with Michigan City and the hospitals out there. And I know that you said that Hammond and this further out isn't really in your region and market. But do you ever see the nonprofit reaching that far or going bigger than, or past Michigan City and
Oh, absolutely. There's
Yeah.
an organization called the National Not-for-Profit Association that we're active in. And as not-for-profits, we are trying to advocate to elected officials the importance of providing services to those in need. So, in fact, I was just reading an article waiting to do this show with you about how we really need to get out on a national level. We need to ask our constituents to call our elected officials and explain how important it is for them to continue to provide funding for these very vital services. Local churches, synagogues, foundations, individual donors, they are incredibly important to us, and they help us fill the gap when we are unable to get the funding from the government. But at this point in time, the government tends to be our largest donor, and we will have to shut down services on a national basis if those funding cuts are actually implemented.
Yeah, and I know your background in marketing as well. You said that you've been doing marketing for years as well. And I know with marketing that collabing with other organizations and companies and sponsors is like a big positive, in order to grow a company or an organization. And I know collabing with, other organizations and churches, like you were mentioning, would be a big plus. So, I mean, that's a good start and a plan, I would say. But no, that's good. Is there anything else that you would like to add about Caring Connection? Anything you would like to promote? Any events coming up? I know we have the comedy event in 2026, and I know you do give backs and all that other stuff. But is there anything coming up that you would like to,
Well, we are having the Comedy for a Cause, which all the proceeds go to our domestic violence shelter called the Empowerment Center, which is in Benton Harbor, Michigan. It costs us about $900,000 a year to run that particular program, and we only get about, at this point in time, at least for the past fiscal year, about $525,000. So we have to make up the rest of that money in fundraising and other grant support. So that will be April 24th in Benton Harbor. We are just getting ready to start promoting it. And I spoke with Whirlpool Corporation yesterday, and they're on board. So we need to find sponsors. We need to find people who can support this program. It's a comedy show. It's our third year. It's funny. We bring in comedians from Chicago to attend. You were there last year.
I was there,
It's a fun event.
I would say, I mean, we got listeners now in Indiana, so I mean, it's a good promotion and a good market to get that out there, to get people out. I know it's not that far of a drive, people could really make it if they really want to, but if fundraising was reduced, how can listeners, fill that gap? What would you say that Indiana can help, or people out here what could they do?
Well, clearly, Indiana, I'm familiar with the Hammond area as a lifelong Chicagoan. You have a lot of needs as well. We need to, as you mentioned earlier, to collaborate. All not-for-profits have a mission. The difference between a for-profit and a not-for-profit is the not-for-profit, any excess revenue, we don't call it profits, excess revenue goes back to program. We don't have shareholders. We don't distribute those funds. Unfortunately, we don't have enough money to do bonuses for staff, but we try and take care of our staff who really work at very minimum wages. They work because they have a heart. They work because they want to be helpful in the community. And that really crosses all not-for-profits. So anything people can do to support their local not-for-profits, including Caring Connection, is very much appreciated.
Yeah, and I know you can find Caring Connection at caringconnectionmi.org. I know you said you're a lifelong Chicagoan, but I know you said you did some work in the Pacific Northwest area as well.
I've been at various different places. Yes, I was president of an association that was in Beaverton, Oregon, which is a suburb of Portland.
Yeah, I know where that's at. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Where would you say on the map is like your favorite place so far? I know Michigan. I know we talked about Michigan, but what would you say your favorite place?
Well, as a lifelong Chicagoan, I love Chicago. My children still live there, and 2 of my 3 kids are in the world of not-for-profits. So I appreciate what's going on there. But I do love living in South Haven, Michigan. It's a lovely place to live.
Okay. I know Michigan gets a lot of hype, especially New Buffalo. So I mean, if people want to go a little further and trying to see what Michigan has to offer and more about it, Caring Connections out there in Benton Harbor, Michigan. Where could people find more information about you guys?
Again, our website is Caring Connection MI, all one word, not connections, connection. .org. And Tatenda, you're helping us redo our website,
Yep.
but the list of all of our programs and services and how to donate to us is listed right in the website.
Perfect. I mean, anything to help. Caring Connection is they're doing great work out here. And, thank you, Robin, so much for making time to come out here or getting on Zoom and answering a few questions and sharing, more information about Caring Connection.
Thank you for the invite.
Of course.
I appreciate it, Tatenda. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
All right, you as well. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, there we go. You're natural at interviewing. I gotta tell you, I was just like, oh yeah, he got this. I'm over here just like, all right, let me fix all the stuff I didn't do this morning. So yeah, you did great. So thank you so much for coming in, for filling some time gaps as I'm over here having some technical difficulties. But
you good.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in and talking about your nonprofit. And thank you for all of our listeners. It says my thing is, there we go. And hopefully that we get some listeners that if they if maybe need help in that area and or if they want to help out. And as you said, that comedy show that is happening in 2026, and you got some you got some Chicago comedians. I was just like, that sounds like a good event.
It's actually a really good event. Last year they did I think she mentioned Bad Moms Comedy from Chicago, and like I know. She said they're getting a little bigger, but so it's going to be different comedians this year, next year. But it's not a bad event, It's a good turnout. So
yeah, there we are. Yep. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back just a little bit before we have North Township come on. So don't go away. We'll be right back after the breaks. Good morning, everyone. You are listening to WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, and you're also watching live on YouTube as well as our JED TV app. We play. Oh, I think I still got no. All right, there we go. So we have the app just for the morning, and then it goes straight to sports, and then. If you want to see any more of the previous content that was posted and or archived, go to our YouTube, WJOB1230 at youtube.com. So let's take a look at traffic and weather. We got about maybe 10 minutes before we switch into our community program. So currently right now at the Track and Van Til Studios, it is 66 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 80 degrees, lows of 57 degrees, partly sunny and clear weather. And as we can see, it was a false fall to my demise. We are seeing highs in the 80s and lows in the 64 degrees for this weekend. We are seeing plenty of sunshine and a little bit of thunderstorm, maybe on Saturday around in the AM. And as we move into Sunday and Monday, 89 degrees. Oh my goodness, maybe if the UV rays are good for that, it might be a good beach day. And it might be the very few last beach days that we'll have before we go into fall officially. And taking a look at our traffic, let's see what we have going on. So currently in the Northwest region, we're seeing a bit of traffic right there on 65 North at 61st Avenue, exit 255. We're seeing a little bit of traffic there, and that's probably due to the construction that's happening over there. 90 Indiana East-West Tollways going east. That traffic is cleared up just a little bit. You're still going to have a little bit of traffic, though. We're seeing a little bit of traffic there on Lakeshore Drive, headed into Chicago. And then we still got that traffic right there on the Dan Ryan 57 North, as well as 94 West, right there at the connector. We're seeing a lot of traffic going that way, as well as we're seeing a lot of traffic on Stevens Expressway going north all the way through and through. Right there at the middle of South Central Avenue is where you're going to see most of your traffic. Same thing, Eisenhower Expressway going east, Central Avenue is where you're going to see most of your traffic headed that way. Seeing a little bit of traffic going west because there's an accident in the left lane blocked Eisenhower I-290 west before Illinois 43 that was reported at 7:17 a.m. Seen a lot of traffic there on 94 East and 94, let's take a look, 94 West right there. Yeah, we're seeing a bit of traffic. So just be mindful of those as you are headed into work. And we also got an accident on Tri-State I-294 South at US 34. That was at 7:05 a.m. So there's going to be a little bit of traffic right there in that area. So I got about maybe 7 minutes before we switch over to North Township. So we're just going to talk a little bit. And yeah, we started off the morning a little bit crazy with everything that's happened in the past 12 to 24 hours, and with all of the death that has happened, as well as the National Guard coming into Chicago and ICE also as well coming into Chicago. And everybody has their different opinions, especially about all the events that have happened in the past 24 hours. And if you want to call in, 219-845-1100 is the number. I was talking briefly about the internship that I have over there at WCPT, and as we continue talking on one of these topics I was talking about earlier this morning, I will probably talk about on the air there. And from that, the last topic I was talking about was Hispanic Heritage Month and how a lot of events are getting canceled. Let me see if I can find that one event that was canceled recently. Let's see, I know I have it somewhere. Yes, it was the largest Hispanic festival in the state of Indiana gets canceled for the first time in over 40 years due to fears of ICE raids. La Plaza Fiesta, Indiana's largest Hispanic cultural celebration, will now take place in downtown Indianapolis this year. And that was posted on, actually, I don't know if that was recent or not, but yeah. That one will be postponed and or canceled. A lot of these are getting postponed. Some of them have been canceled, and hopefully that they get postponed to maybe sometime in October and November, because as I was saying on the other station, yes, even though September is Hispanic Heritage Month, we do carry out our celebrations into October and November as Dia de los Muertos comes up, and that is one thing that I always look forward to anytime November, that first week of November into last week of October happens, is Dia de los Muertos, because I like to make the altar and put all pictures of my family members who have passed and put on the thing. So for those who don't know what an ofrenda is, it is basically a altar, and you can make it however you want. You don't need all of the fancy things. Literally, if you have like 3 shoe boxes, 1, 2, 3, and then you put a cloth over it, you put their pictures up. Dia de los Muertos is basically, if we put their photos up, that is the Day of the Dead, they are able to cross over and join us in the land of the living and celebrate with us and celebrate the life that they have had. And you put on the table little things that they liked, whether it be their favorite foods and or their favorite drinks. I know we'll always put little conchas there, and sometimes we'll put their favorite drinks. I know, especially for my grandfather, Diet Coke was his absolutely favorite thing in the entire world. But I found some things that I was like, okay, yeah, and I'm seeing all the decorations and like, okay, I want to make mine a little pretty this year, so I'm very excited to do that coming up. And I know some people, they've already started decorating. The stores already have their decor out. I have some from past years, and I'm very excited to see how everybody does theirs, because everybody does it so unique and different. That's one thing that I really like when celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, as well as Dia de los Muertos. But with all of this happening in the country and in the world, and the National Guard and ICE coming into Chicago, it makes people fear that they can't celebrate their heritage and that they're being targeted. And it's one thing that for entire culture to be targeted, but it's another thing that it's not to say that other cultures should be targeted, but it's just that you are labeling those who are undocumented, those who are immigrants, as just Hispanic, even though there are so many different cultures. But it's not just Hispanic people, but then also that they are labeling them as criminals and those who only do bad things. But that's not the case. A lot of these are actual genuinely hardworking people, and I know a lot of people were being in an uproar when they saw that the guy that was selling flowers on the side of the street was getting pressed by ICE. And a lot of people were like, he does that for his living. He's probably done that for the last few years, and he only wants to make a living by selling flowers. And now people who do that are unable to, because of the fear that they will be taken and detained by ICE. And another thing with that, and with them coming into Chicago, a lot of them are in black masks, or that they won't show their proof that they are ICE agents, because some people fear that individuals are taking advantage of this and just kidnapping people and going from there, and they're not actually ICE agents, even though they will claim to do so. And that's why a lot of people, they have now out what you should do if you are stopped by ICE, and the different things to ask them to make sure that these are individuals of ICE, because that is the scary time that we live in now, that we have to fear for that, and we have to look into it in great detail just in case it isn't what we believe that it is. So that is my little rant on the National Guard and ICE coming into Chicago. And one thing that I didn't touch on that I will do really quickly in the next 30 seconds is that everybody has their different narratives of how National Guard is coming into Chicago, and if they should be there, if they shouldn't be there, and if they are, what are they doing? It's just a whole big thing, and it needs some clarity on it. And honestly, individuals are saying that we don't need them to come to Chicago. Now, yes, crime is just a thing. It's going to happen, but if we can bring it down, let's do that. And maybe instead of sending in the National Guard and taking them and all this money that we're spending on them, spend the money to put that into the Chicago Police Force, put it into their funding, and so that way they're able to get training in those different aspects, as well as not only just so that way they can lower crime rates, but then also they can keep police officers, so that way it doesn't, in a sense, fear people of the police, to know that if they have the training, that they won't be as scared of them as much because of all these protests happening. But that is going to end that little segment there. We are going to switch gears now into North Township. You are listening to The Morning Show on WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live on the JED TV app and YouTube. We're going to be right back after this short break.